Hello, hello. Good day to everybody. I am so glad to be here with you on this sunny morning. It's sunny today in the Philippines. If you're watching in Manila, I'm sure that you're feeling the same weather. But if you're watching this video again, maybe later on a replay, you'd probably have a different kind of weather. So let us know where you're watching from. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. By the way, before I get into the conversation and dive into the things that I'm about to say to you, let me introduce myself first. My name is Lay De Armas, and I am the founder and the CEO of Brandspeak Asia. It's a creative branding agency founded in 2006. So we are celebrating our 15th year, and that is exactly the reason why we are doing this Ask Brand Speak show. All right, so we are live on Facebook right now. We're also live on YouTube. You can also visit us if your internet connection is a bit shaky on Facebook. You can head over to YouTube with the same name, Brandspeak Asia. You can look for our channel there and hit that button to subscribe and hit that bell as well so that you can get notified about the things that we're about to share to you for the rest of the month and the coming months and the year. All right. Again, so that is who I am. And I'd like to introduce to you very briefly who Brandspeak Asia is. Like what I said earlier, Brandspeak Asia is a creative branding agency founded in 2006. All right. So we're celebrating our 15th year this year. And what we do basically is that we partner with clients, collaborate with clients, and talk to them about how they can promote their brands, how they can build their brands, everything about marketing, event management, design, and just helping them be positioned the way that they want to be in the minds of their target audience. So that is who we are at Brandspeak Asia. And of course, I told you something about my professional life. I'm also a mother. I'm also a wife, and so yeah. So basically, that's who I am. And maybe you're asking what Ask Brand Speak is all about. And Ask Brand Speak, what I'm doing right now is actually our pilot episode so that we can talk to you everything and anything about branding. So we are giving away information, the things that we have seen all throughout the years, a decade and a half that we have been working in the industry here in Manila and also serving clients even abroad. And so what we want to do is to be able to scale that information to you guys for free. And so if you can just spare 20 minutes or 30 minutes of your time at most, perhaps, right? And we are also opening up this talk, this conversation to some of you who might want to ask some questions about yourself, personal branding. If you want to be an influencer, a content creator, go ahead. What's that question that's bugging in your head and you don't know who to talk to? That is the reason why we have Ask Brand Speak. Also, if you are a brand manager, a marketer, or even a small, and medium business owner, this is the place for you. So we can have a community. You can have a community. We're here for you so that we can talk to you about how you can improve things when it comes to your branding and marketing and all sorts of that stuff as well. So that is why we are here. Of course, this is not to say that companies and corporations, especially our clients, are exempt. You are welcome to join this channel. Watch out for us because Ask Brand Speak will be happening every Friday. Every Friday. That's 4 times a month. All right. Every Friday, again, for 20 to 30, maybe max of 40 minutes, especially when we would have guests, because we have guests lined up in the coming months for you so that you can also partake and receive from experts in the field. So we'll be talking to you with some guests. So go ahead. If you have any questions about branding, please don't hesitate to type it in the chat. And also another thing that we would like to offer to you guys, and this is something that we have been doing when we started our digital marketing boot camp. That is right. So we usually have our digital marketing boot camp. Pre-pandemic, we used to go around, the metro, even in the country. We went to Visayas, just to share to you, just to share to our clients and corporations, hotels, different types of companies in various industries, why digital marketing is important. So that is a boot camp that we are doing. And pre-pandemic, we're going around, but obviously because we have been locked down for a year now, and more than a year if you're living, in Asia. And what we've been doing is, we're doing these things online, exactly what we're teaching on digital marketing. So this is our way for you guys to just benefit from what we have learned and the continuous trends that we are learning and applying for the clients that we are working with. So as part of what we want to do for you is that we are also opening this conversation. If you are watching live right now, you can actually schedule a 10-minute consultation with us. And we will get back to you. You can type it in the chat if you're interested. If you have any questions, how do I improve my branding? I'm launching a new product. I'm launching a new service. I'm launching a new brand. How do I package that? How do I communicate in my market? What platform do I have to use? Is this working? This is not working. Things like that. We can help you. So to discuss that in a 10-minute consultation. So go ahead, type your name in the chat. I believe you'll also see on Facebook, an invitation for you to share your name so that we can get right back to you after this conversation that we're going to be having today. All right. And if you're watching on replay, please do mention watching on replay. And please go ahead and still comment on the chat your name, your company, your email, or just send us a PM that you've watched this show right now and you want to schedule a 10-minute consultation with us. And our team would gladly assist you. Just take that road towards digital marketing and branding. So that is what Ask Brandspeak is all about. We're present here on Facebook and also in YouTube. All right. So before I move forward, I want to I just want to say hi to people who are already here. I'm happy to see some of you guys. Yes, go ahead and do that. Where you're watching from, I want to say hi to you. I see Brian in here watching. Thank you, Brian, for joining us all the way from Cavite. I see Sherwin, Ogson. Hi, Rafael, Shane. Of course, I see here Denise, Erica, Renzo. Thank you so much for being here with us. And what you can do is you can actually begin to tag your friends in the comment section so that they can also receive from the conversation that we will be having this morning. 20 minutes of their time just learning everything. Well, not everything, but some basic facts about branding. All right. So I would like to talk to you today about why branding is important. But before I do that, I just want to answer a question that was sent in by Celine. All right. This is a question that was sent in by Celine. And again, if you guys have any questions at all, please go ahead and type them in the chat and we will try to answer them, throughout this conversation with you today, if time permits. If not, then definitely we'll be sure to answer that next week or we'll contact you and send you the answer that we have for you. All right. So this is a question that was sent by Celine. What roles do social media and digital marketing play on e-fulfillment of a company's product and or services, and in what ways can one leverage on it? So Celine here is asking about the role of social media, and I'm sure you guys are very familiar about what social media is, but in particular, Celine here wants to zero in on the role. And this question actually is a two-part question. And the first question is, again, about the role of social media and digital marketing. And, basically what it does in the e-fulfillment or the fulfillment of a company's product and services. So basically, Celine, in the context of this, you're asking, how does it work? What role does social media and digital marketing play? And my quick answer to that is this, and hopefully you guys are, taking notes. This is a time for you to take notes, because for Ask Brandspeak, this is actually a learning opportunity for you every Fridays. If you are working from home, I'm sure it's so hard to come up with your own schedule. It's easy to be distracted. Why don't you set your alarm at 9 o'clock every Friday so that you can learn something for 20 to 30 minutes about marketing, branding, and digital marketing. So this is how I'd like to answer this question again about the role of social media. My quick answer to that is social media is a pipe, all right? It's a pipe. And, what do you do with a pipe to benefit from it? You know what a pipe is, right? A pipe is only as good as where you connect it from and where you point it to, right? You hook up a pipe with a faucet, most definitely, where the water source is, and you point it towards the destination of what you want to do with the water, right? Whatever your purpose is. For example, you can hook up that pipe or a hose for easier visualization. You can hook it up in your garage faucet and then point all the way the end of the rope or the hose into your garden, because your goal and your destination, the destination of that water, is to water that garden. Okay, so are you getting this? The same is true with social media and digital marketing platforms. These are all pipes. So you don't have to be intimidated because everything is so fast. Some people are performing better. Some companies are doing it the right way. I'm seeing a lot of success stories, case studies here and case studies there. How can I make it work for me? First of all, don't be overwhelmed, because these are all pipes. And you can choose what pipe to use, right? And what would really create a difference. Okay, get this. You can choose what pipe to use. But what would really create a difference is what goes on and in on those pipes. Okay, what goes on in those pipes, which in this case is really content. Content. Social media is a pipe. The main differentiator is your content. What kind of water are you letting flow into those pipes? If there is no water at all in the pipe is useless. If you don't point the pipe as well in the proper direction, then the water is wasted. Okay? The pipe is the social media. The water is your content, which is actually your substance. It's what you're all about. It's about your product, your service, your company, your campaign. And the end of that pipe is actually your audience. And you have the power to choose. That is why for us, social media is very important. It's really revolutionary because you can create your own demographic. You can choose your own demographic, age group, location of the target audience. You can narrow them down with social media. Unlike in traditional marketing, it's so hard to do that. It's even hard to measure how many people are actually watching, how many people are latching on in a particular campaign. Is your content working? Right? Are people benefiting from what you're putting out there? Unlike social media. So think about that, right? And going back to the next part of this question, right? In what ways can you leverage on it? Right? In what ways can you leverage on social media? And that really depends on what type of water, what type of content you want to put in it. Social media has allowed the present marketer to select, again, its audience, just like a pipe. Instead of just turning on the faucet and letting the water flow continually with no specific target, right? With social media, you have the ability to direct your content to certain and targeted audiences. especially now at very affordable prices. Okay, you can't do that with a billboard or a poster. You'd have to engage with the owners of those billboards, placements. It's very expensive. Unlike social media, you can do it in a day to day with a daily budget, right? So I encourage you to take advantage of that. Okay, so the very first thing that you should consider is doing an inventory. How can I leverage on social media? Okay, ask yourself these questions, or maybe take notes, right? Or write this in the comment section for everyone else to see and benefit from, because our goal is to create here a community where we can talk about things, about branding and digital marketing. Number one, figure out why your water is the best water. Okay, figure it out. Take time to sit down. Why is what I'm offering the best? Okay, determine then the next step is to determine then the pipe that you want to use. Should I go on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, all right, on Instagram, on LinkedIn? That's the next step for you to do. All right, if you're not yet on any of those platforms, don't get overwhelmed and say, okay, I want to start on all platforms, which is good eventually. But I encourage you to start with one right now if you're not yet familiar with how one operates, because everything else will just follow. Okay? The next one, the third one, is decide where you want the water to go. Where are you pointing that pipe to? Okay? Determine your target audience. That's the next step. Another thing that you want to consider, determine how long you want that water running. How long do you want that running? Okay, obviously this is connected to the next step, which is, a question for you to ask. How much budget do you have to finance this watering setup? How much are you willing to allocate? Okay, to put up a billboard on EDSA for a month already costs about 300,000 pesos. If it's the bigger billboards, it will cost you about 500,000 pesos for a single month. Okay, if you can't continue that, then obviously that billboard has to be taken down. Imagine what you can do with Facebook. You can start with 40 pesos a day, right? As a daily budget. You can, put out an amount there and actually estimate your KPIs. That's how revolutionary social media is right now. So ask yourself these questions. All right, so that is my answer to the question that was sent in by Celine. Hopefully you guys are able to get something out of it as well. I tried to create an analogy so that it's easier for you guys to visualize it and to understand and to not be overwhelmed about all these technology that we're discussing today. Again, going back, our lesson today, okay, what we will be talking about today is why is branding important? And in order for us to determine this, why is branding important, we need to discuss what branding is first, right? What is branding for you? Maybe you can engage with me and type it in the comment section what you think branding is, and I'll take the time to read through some of the things that you're writing in there for other people to see as well. There is no right or wrong answer. We are here to help one another understand this better and leverage on it. All right. So again, what is branding for you? Okay. Maybe I'll start this conversation in the next 10 minutes talking about what branding is not first. Okay. Let me tell you, branding is not a logo. Right? Maybe some of you are already thinking, what? But I spent so much time, so much money creating a logo. Okay. Your logo is a symbol of who you are, but it doesn't encompass your branding. It's just one part of it. So it's not a logo. Branding is not just a slogan. Branding is not a promise. Branding is not a story. All of the things that I've mentioned to you guys, yes, they are all elements and components of how you would be able to create a strong branding for you, for your product, for your company, for your service. But in each, if you want to take it individually, it definitely won't work if that is your only focus. These are your starting points, your logo, your slogan, your promise, your story, because it helps you understand who you are, right? But it doesn't stop there. Your brand, and hopefully you get this, your brand is your reputation. In business, your brand is your business reputation. what people perceive about you, who people think you are. And you might say, I should not listen to what others say. I'm just getting confused, right, about me. I have my own identity. Well, all of that is true. But what others think about you, okay, if it's different with the way that you think about yourself, then there is a disconnect about you and your branding. Okay? Who you are, who you think you are, should match how people perceive you. So again, branding is not all about your identity. You have to take the time to listen to what other people are saying. Okay? If you don't agree with what they're hearing or what they say about you, then it's time to change how you relate to others. And this is very applicable in personal relationships, the same way as in business relationships. After all, businesses are made up of people who eventually decide. Don't look at businesses as businesses like B2B. Those businesses are actually comprised of human beings. They're the ones that runs them, right? So take the time to listen. What are they saying about me? If it's not a match, that is not how I want to be perceived, then check, how am I relating to other people? Am I too shy? Am I intimidated? Am I too strong? All right? How you interact with your customers is very important. Okay? So if there's a disconnect, again, rethink. Rethink your business strategy and see where the gap is. Now let's talk about what branding is, right? Branding, again, is not about who or what you say you are. Get this? Branding is about what people make of you. Branding is what people create about you. It is about how they feel and think about you in their mind, in their heart. It is about their perception about you. So for you to say that you have been successful in branding, the formula is this. Does your identity match with people's perception, which is equal to your reputation? Then you know, if all of those are equal and there is maybe a very small gap in those, more or less, this is how they perceive you, they get who you are, this is what you want to hear, this is the position that you want to take, then you know that your branding is true, it's authentic, and it's effective. Okay? Identity, perception, reputation. They have to line up, all of them. Right? Another thing about branding, a brand is a result. So again, it's not just about a slogan, it's not just about a logo, it's not just about a promise or a story. After all those things, and you communicated that, you spent an massive amount of money to build that. At the end of the day, it's a result. Your brand is a result. It's a result of what you decide to give. And when a person or a customer takes everything that they hear about you in raw form and builds in their minds and hearts a reputation about you, okay, and you want that, what they've built about you, then you know that your brand has a result. It is the result of all of that. They take everything that you're saying, social media, your products, your marketing, the experience in the cafeteria, how you serve them, your employees, how they talk, how they relate, your pricing, all of those. And the result of that, okay, is your branding. Okay. Another thing, a brand is how other people experience you and how that experience is compounded by the many efforts that you do until you create something solid and true. That when other people look at you, they say, yes, 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 that is who they are. Yes, because they've pretty much been solid all these years. Okay? So for me to say this, it's an overall compounded experience. Then you can say as well that branding cannot be built overnight. So don't obsess, don't be intimidated, don't be frustrated. It takes time to build a brand. It takes time to build a personal brand yourself, right? How you're perceived, how you relate to other people. It takes time to do that. Much less in a company. It takes time to build that. Branding is your position in the minds, in the hearts of your target audience. That's a positioning strategy. Okay, you know. So, for example, if I'll give you one, if I ask you right now, what is the top of mind brand that you have when I say the category tablet? Okay, Maybe you can write it in the comment section to see if these companies are still doing a great job in making sure that they own that space. All right, while I drink my water. Right, when I mentioned the category tablet, what are the brands that come to mind, or what is the first brand that comes to your mind? When I say basketball shoes, what is the first brand that comes to mind? Okay, or athletic shoes. When you begin to write those brands down according to their category, according to their niche, then you know that that is what's happening between a product and its target audience. There is a harmony, there is a connection, a relationship, and that is what you call branding. If they remember you for who you want to be remembered, then you know that you're creating a brand for yourself. Okay? And so let's talk about this again in the next 5 minutes. Why is it important? Why is branding important? Right? Branding is important because it makes you stay true to who you want to be. It makes you stay true to who you really are. Knowing who you are and what your value is and making an effort to serve others with what you can give, it's the starting point. The next is listening and being mindful about other people's response. How are they taking this? All of those are components in you building a successful and effective brand. Branding is important. It helps you to stay true to who you are. Another thing, it's very important, especially in businesses, right? Branding is important because you need to become the choice of people around you. You need to be top of mind, right? You need to be top of mind. You need to become the choice. And branding helps with that. If you are making a product like maybe socks or even bottled pickles or bagoong, I'm not sure if you know that if you're living in other countries, right? Bagoong or dried shrimp paste, that's what it is, right? Or you offer a service like banking or photography or wedding coordination, all of these are services. You know that you're not the only one doing these things. You're not the only one offering the products or service. So the question is, how will people remember me in the middle of all the competition or even in the middle of the marketplace, right? You go to a marketplace, you know how a marketplace looks like. There's a lot of merchants there. There's a lot of people, right? How do you stand out? To become the choice, you need to invest in branding. So it's not a question of why it is important. It is a question of how you want to build your brand, okay? If you don't build on your branding today, you'll only be good as your last sale. Okay, let me repeat that. If you don't build on your branding today, you'll only be as good as your last sale. You'll always have to sell and reach out, do a lot of cold calls, do a lot of, cold emails, all of those things. Yes, they're good. They're sales strategies. But if you don't build on your brand today, you'll always be selling. And it's not easy for people to remember you, right? I know that one of the things that's very popular now, especially when the pandemic happened in 2020, is the marketplace. And I'm talking about Facebook Marketplace. And I'll give that as an example, right? A lot of people they've become sellers online, just on Facebook Marketplace. You're going to see a lot of merchants there, a lot of products. There's a lot of good products on the marketplace in Facebook alone. There's a lot of pots, plants, rugs, chairs, whatever, everything. Probably you'll find an airplane in there. I'm not sure. Okay. There's also a lot of cheap products because the middleman has been cut. Because of online, people don't necessarily have to put up brick and mortar stones and spend on capital just to put up those stores so that people can walk by. With one click of a photo, with a good photo, you put it up online and they see your product, they message you. It's so easy to sell, right? Easy access, low amortization, low mortgage, or to less. No, there's none even because there's no capital, right? And no tax, probably. Am I allowed to say that? But yes, right? You can just sell it there. And instant delivery. You can mention, can I have this within the day? So when you buy something in there, right, it's easy to get all of those things. But here's the thing. When you buy something in there, it's not easy to remember where you bought something because the merchants are not branded. The sellers are not branding themselves, all right? I'm talking about the typical marketplace. You won't be able to recommend a product easily to someone because there are no branding involved in the process in the marketplace. So, for example, like myself recently, I bought one of those Bori mats, into this natural look, organic look, a lot of browns, shades, nudes. If you're like me, all rattan, I'm gearing towards that. Maybe you can say that's me also, all right? And I bought a few items in the marketplace on Facebook, on Marketplace, and they're very cheap prices, really, without spending for gas or time and effort. I just have to click and wait. I just pay for delivery fee, which, augments all other costs, which I'd gladly pay for so that I don't waste my time, right? Those things. And the thing is, I can't recommend them easily, the merchants where I bought those products from, because I can't remember who they are. After my first purchase, I'd have to search again where I bought them and see among the many chats that I have in my messenger, okay, where is that seller again? Okay, and if you have a lot of transactions, a lot of group chats in messenger, it's going to be so hard for you to recommend. So a friend may refer, again, some a product to you, but they don't necessarily refer where they bought it from. Those things are different. And so if you're the seller, if you're the one trying to sell that product, right, then you're only good as your last sale. Unless, people are very organized and they take the time to save that, save here, right? Which most probably, more often than not, they won't. Okay? So remember, what makes a difference is branding. What you think is different from what others think. There has to be a connection. So you need to start listening to what others are saying. I'll give you another example about branding. My 5-year-old daughter, her name is Monique, and lately she's a foodie, by the way. She loves food. She's the first to eat in the dining table and the last to finish. She loves all sorts of food. And recently, her favorite would be cheese. Okay, so she gets a taste of a specific brand, Eden cheese. And this is not branded or sponsored, by the way, but if you're from Eden and you're hearing this, hey, it's not bad to sponsor. Okay, just saying. But she totally loves Eden cheese when she tasted that 2 weeks ago. All right, and she eats that with anything, bread, breadsticks, cookie, biscuit, whatever. Okay, she eats that. She loves it so much. She would come to me at different points in the day and give me that charming look and say, "Mom, I want to eat something. You know what that is? It's Eden cheese, And of course, I would gladly oblige because she's so charming and cute. Okay, and there was a point where it ran out. Most definitely, if she's eating it every day, it runs out, right? And so I had to buy it. But then there was no Eden cheese in the grocery store. It's out of stock. Okay, and so I buy another one, and I let her taste it, but it was different. So she doesn't want to eat it. The yellow is different. It's not the same yellow. It's not the same texture. She doesn't want to eat it. Okay, so now every time I receive a box of grocery, okay, or buy from the grocery store, I get the cheese and she checks it. She would like to check first if the branding is Eden cheese, that blue box in there. If it's not, she won't eat it. If it's yellow or other types of blue, right, or it's the rounded one that you get from Christmas, she won't buy it. Okay, she's already become a loyal customer of Eden cheese, not just any cheese, but Eden cheese. Imagine what it does. And if there is no branding to that, it would be difficult for her to describe what she exactly wants. And children, when they want something, they want that specific thing. That is what you call brand loyalty. All right? It works. It works in kids. So imagine this same behavior actually works in the minds of your target audience. So are you creating that connection? Are you making it easy for people to remember who you are, for people to recommend you? Do you have that ring, that's easy for them to remember? Oh yeah, I've had this experience. I've had a taste of this thing. I love that. And they say your brand. All right? Get this. And this is my last point as I wind down. There is a difference between branding and marketing. There's a difference. Branding makes what other people think and know and feel about you important. It's about hearing their voice. Okay? Marketing is what you think as the seller, as the marketer, as the business owner. It's what you know and what you feel, and it's about you being heard. There is a difference. All right? So, my advice is work on your branding. Okay? Build on your brand by knowing your truth. What is it about you that people will like about you? What is your main USP? If you're a marketer, you know what USP is, right? What is your truth? Build your brand on truth, not on trends. Okay? You can always get a lot of trends happening. There's always a new trend happening, but it pays to build on truth, your truth. Reflect on truth and be authentic. Ask yourself, who am I? Who are you? What do you do? Okay? How do you do it? Okay? And why do you do what you do? Four basic things that you have to remember. The moment that you become serious about creating this experience, aspiring to see the result, that your branding is being built. Okay? You want to be intentional about branding, about brand building, so that when you're not selling, you're still selling. Did you get that? You want to be intentional about brand building so that when you're not selling, you're still selling. Okay? So at this point in time, take some time to assess what you have achieved in your brand. If you're just starting, this is the point for you to ask yourself, okay, three things. What do I give? Okay? In my product, in my service, my company, in this campaign, in this promo, what do I give? What is the value that I am giving constantly and consistently? That is what you give. Giving is not a one-off thing. Otherwise, you'll only be remembered once. Okay? But again, brand building is not done overnight. It takes time to do that. So ask yourself, what do I give? Okay? That is your value. Another thing, what do you build? Okay? What do I build? Like what I mentioned earlier, what you're doing, okay, it's not a one-off thing. It takes consistency and thoughtfulness. It takes layers. It takes time to build, right? You are building something, right? Even if you spend so much, yes, at one point, you will be able to create an awareness that's massive, okay? But will it last? That's why it's a continuous thing, right? Another thing that you have to consider, if you're working with a team in businesses, even celebrities or endorsers or people that are associated with you, which is very important in branding, okay? Who you associate yourself with. What does your people do? What do they do? Because in branding, everyone is involved. From your from the person answering the phone calls, to the other person receiving emails, to the one sending the emails, to the one doing the sales itself, marketing, decision maker, the way that you talk, the way that you communicate, everyone is involved. So realize that again, you cannot build a brand overnight. It takes time and consistency and a lot of communication. Communicate, communicate, communicate. How do you know if you're on the right track in creating a brand? Okay, again, you know that you are winning in creating your brand when people start coming to you. When people start coming to you for this, I have a question about this. Can we talk? I have a question about this, right? I know that you are good about this. When people start to come to you for that very purpose that you're building for, then you know that your branding works. Okay? And this is not just for businesses. This is also for churches, for ministries. This is also for personal brands, people. You as a content creator, right? This is for SMEs and corporations. Are people coming to you for the very purpose that you want them to? Again, you're not selling, okay? But you are selling. That is how you know branding is actually working for you. Even when you don't sell, you're still selling. That is branding for you, right? So hopefully you guys learned something from this short talk that you have with me today. This is Ask Brandspeak. And again, I'd like to invite you, if you are watching and you have a question that you'd like to ask us in our team, right, at Brandspeak Asia, I'd like you to check that FB card that's being flashed right now, or if you are watching from YouTube, why don't you go ahead and type in the chat there? I want a 10-minute consultation, and our team will reach out to you for that conversation so we can talk, maybe face to face, or and get back to you. If not within the day, get back to you within the week, right? Or the next 5 days at most, so that we can help you with your branding. All right. And if you have any more questions as well, please go ahead and type them in the chat box, right? And we will take the time to answer them. If you're watching on replay, just say, I'm watching on replay, right? And type your question, and we will get back to you to answer those questions. Again, this is Ask Brandspeak. I'd like to invite you to follow us on social media, on Facebook and YouTube. This is Brandspeak Asia. You can also follow me, my personal YouTube channel, where I talk about digital marketing as well. It's Lay de Armas. You can search that up. And, we can continue this community of building, being together, talking about how we can help you with your businesses or personal branding. All right. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody, and I wish everybody a good day. Thank you so much.